Hello friends, welcome back. My name is Charles and this is OG Adventures. You join me tonight in my garage. The neon lights are terrible and they buzz a little bit. We'll just gloss over that. It's really chilly outside and I want to talk to you about wind protection. As you saw in my intro video a week or two ago, I said that the plan for me and the plan for this GS at the end of this summer was to take a trip to British Columbia. I live around Montreal, so it's gonna take 7 or 8 days of like touring motorcycling. So that's 6, 7, sometimes up to even 800 kilometers per day. Lots of high speed stuff. So comfort and wind protection are at a premium. And as you saw on my channel, my review of my 1984 Honda and my review of my 2011 Victory, one theme kept coming back into the conversation, and that was my desire to take longer rides and my desire for something more comfortable. And you'll say, Charles, well, this is a GS adventure, like you have all of the wind protection in the world, and why would you, complain or think negatively of the performance of the GS in terms of wind protection? The truth is even with this spoiler, which I've kind of messed with and tried to adjust, this is from Puig. I think it's Puig. There's a baseball player who used to play for the Dodgers or the Reds. His name was Yasiel, and it wasn't Puig or something. I think it's Puig. So if you're Hispanic or European Spanish, you want to correct me or tell me that it is Puig, then, by all means in the comment section down there. So this little spoiler here, it's adjustable and I've messed with it. And I've put it on top of the BMW sort of OEM touring windshield that they have. The one that is on the regular GS, the non-adventure model, is a little bit smaller. This is the bigger one. And at the highest setting, I still have trouble with buffeting. And if you're new to motorcycling, you'll think, well, you're wearing a helmet. Aren't you protected from all the, the wind and everything? You are protected from the wind hitting your skin and your face and your eyes, but you're not protected from the noise unless you get into the habit of wearing the earplugs, and I'm not a fan of those. So I really want like a bubble. And I'm about 6'1", and I do wear a full-size helmet, and a full face helmet, I should say. And I did buy an Arai XD4, so I'll tell you more about my helmet later. But what I did was, the first adjustment that I did is I removed the bill, the sort of baseball cap part of the helmet. This is really good off-road to block the sun, but when you're touring, it catches a lot of the wind and you get a lot of buffeting out of it, and it's not ideal for touring. So I went and I took it off, which is completely fine. You can do that. I'm just gonna set it aside. It does make the top of the helmet a lot more streamlined, and it does block a lot of that buffeting and that noise, and it keeps your head from rocking back because the bubble does kind of sit on top of your forehead. And I've gotten acquainted with the bike for about a month and a half now. I've driven it up to, like, next week I have to take it in for its like break-in service at 1,000 kilometers. That's 620 miles-ish. And I've gotten used to it on the highway, and I'm like, I could do this for a couple hours, but I need something else for a full day of like highway if I need to just get someplace. And part of my plan to go to British Columbia involves, dry runs and me getting acquainted with, a full day of highway nonstop kind of situation. So next week I'm taking the opportunity that presents itself to go to Moncton, New Brunswick to visit my sister and work there for a bit. And that's about 1,100 kilometers. It's about, I want to say 700 miles thereabouts. So that's a full day. I have to leave, leave here 8 in the morning. I'm there for dinner. It's like highway. I'm doing 100, 110, 115 kilometers an hour, and it's just a full day. And it's with this setup, as good as it is for like one day or a few hours of highway, for a full day, and later on, right, a full week when I go to BC, it's not gonna cut it. So what I've done, and some of you may have guessed, is I'm kind of, updating this and I'm changing this. And what I've done is I've ordered, still from Puig, this is the touring windshield from Puig. Now, I got the light smoke for 2 very specific reasons. First, I didn't think it would look too bad. I didn't know if I wanted the kind of dark smoke black or if I wanted to stay in that clear design. So light smoke I thought would do the trick for the look of the thing. And secondly, that's what they had in stock. So I ordered that and it came in from Fort9. You should visit fort9.ca. No affiliation, no relationship between me and them. They're just great and they deliver really quick. So this is supposed to fit with, you know, 2 screws onto these brackets and the whole situation. So I will go ahead and link a couple of videos in the description of really good step-by-step how-tos of how to put this on. And I will shout out to these channels, like I said, in the description below here. The one thing I should mention, if you're thinking about updating the windshield on your GS, and honestly, I would have done that even if I had kept just the spoiler with the stock GS, is the adjustable tilt and height of the windshield from BMW directly. See how it moves up and down, and you know, most of you know that it does that. It is half plastic, half aluminum, I would imagine, and if you get a lot of wind out of it, it's going to shake a little bit, and I'm concerned about the durability of the whole hinge and bracket system. And they do sell a kind of reinforcement brace situation that goes on either side of the GPS mount, and that will strengthen this whole situation. You might lose adjustability. You might not be able to, at least on the fly, you know, tilt and position the windshield up and down the way you might want it. But that's a small price to pay. And honestly, I think that once you found your setting, you tend to leave it. So that, to me, at least for now, isn't going to be much of an issue. So without further ado, this is me putting on my Puig touring windscreen on my R1250 GS Adventure. Okay, well that was simple enough, right? There are 2 screws here and here that you take off. These are T25, I think, and then they would, you know, attach the bracket here. So all you had to do to take the windshield off the stock one was those 2 screws had to come out, and that's it. So I put the, as you saw, the brackets kind of back on. They screw on from the inside part of the windshield. There's 2 screws. I didn't really tight too much. I just kind of, you know, nudged it in just so I could kind of mock install the thing. So what you do then is there are a couple of notches here, and I have to kind of line this up. If you'll bear with me for a moment. You might hear some comical music in the edit. Will I need to do that? Like that. So see, if I wanted to, you know, just have the windshield on, I could do that. But then again, I need the braces, right? So far so good. I want to say that this is like a 9 out of 10 easy install for now for the windshield. But I need the brace, so that's coming up next. Bear with me. Okay, so I stopped the time lapse here. Ever so slight adjustment to the plan. This happens sometimes. You'll see the tail end of that as I took off. This is the piece. This little piece of wind deflector fairing. It's plastic, it's kind of flimsy. There are 2 screws on top of the headlight cover assembly thing, which kind of this is, and there are 2 screws on the side. They're T25. And they come right out. It's really no problem. I installed, and I'll give you a full like Lone Rider video later on, but I installed this Lone Rider headlight guard unit thing. And so I was concerned that I had to take the whole thing off because it took like 4 hours to put on, and I'll give you my kind of grievances and frustrations about putting this on a bit later. But this will still come off. You just kind of, like I said, take the T25s, which on the Lone Rider are, is it number 2 Allen? It's a different screw. I didn't put the BMW screws back on here. I put the Lone Rider screws with some Loctite, but it came right out, so it's fine. And so yeah, this comes out because you saw that I kind of messed with this side because you have to take, there's 2 screws you have to take out on the bottom. And there is access. It's a T30 on here with a 10 millimeter nut on the inside part. So you can kind of mess with a spanner, like if you want to kind of wrench at it. But on the brake side, because as you can see, the adjuster knob is on this side, and there's like zero access if you don't take this off. So take the 2 minutes and take it off. It'll plop right back on, and we're going to be fine. So resuming with the install. Okay, so here we are. A bit of an issue with the Puig reinforcement bracket. I'm gonna keep messing around with the windscreen, and I think I can get away with using it at low speeds if I had to just kind of take the bike somewhere. But the problem I have with the reinforcement brackets is, I mean, there's a left and a right, that's easy enough, and these are stamped on the actual side, so you can't really go wrong. And I mean, it goes like this, and then the right one goes, you know, obviously on the other side. There are four, I think, bear with me, there are 4 M6 screws, so 2 on the bottom of each side. And Puig give you a little baggie with all of the hardware that you might need to install this. And the list says that you're supposed to have 4 of these M6. And for the top of the windscreen, because obviously this has a hole to insert an M5 screw, of which they tell you that they include 2, obviously 1 on each side. That's the top screw on the windshield bracket. It needs to be longer than the BMW screw obviously to accommodate the extra width of the, I guess, 1/4 inch plate that this is. So, or 1/8 inch, whichever. So the problem I have is that I don't have enough hardware. So in the little baggie that I got, I'm supposed to have 4 of the M6 and 2 of the M5. I have 4 of the M5 and 2 of the M6, and therefore I can't put the bracket on the bottom. So I shall have to try to find a hardware store that will sell me 2 of these M6 by 25. So far the install was fine. It's been simple. I'm just missing the bolts or the screws or whatever. It is what it is. So I'm not lost. I can put the stock one back on. And if I have to use the touring windscreen, I'll just use it without the bracket at low speeds in town, and it's not going to be a big deal. Nothing will break. So when I get back to you in a few seconds, it'll be a few days from now, and I'll complete the install. Okay, I've returned, I'm back. It's been a few days, and I want to tell you what happened. I spent the last couple of days trying frantically to look for, in a hardware store or a motorcycle dealership, the screw that I was missing. It's, you know, an M6 by 25. It's relatively standard, and until I could get a replacement from the manufacturer, I figured maybe I can just find something that'll work in a hardware store or something. I ended up calling Fortnite back. They were very kind. The customer service agent, I forget his name, asked me to just take pictures of what it is that I received with the parts list, and then evidently he said if everything's fine, we'll just, you know, send you a replacement in a few days. I figured out that, and this is why you notice that everything is assembled right now, is that the BMW screw that I had to take off to put this on just fits. Like, it's too short. The screw, and I'll show you when I move the camera, and I move to the other angle here, but the screw from Puig protrudes from the nut about 8 millimeters, I want to say. So the BMW screw is too short altogether, but, you know, in a pinch, it would have done the job for that trip to Moncton until I could get the screw I needed. Okay, so I hope you can see properly. This is a bit of an over the shoulder thing. So the screw that I used, I used the screw that came with the Puig attachment on the bottom here. There are 2, and there's one that's more to the front of the bike. So I put the Puig screw on here, and if you can tell, I don't know if you can on either side, but like I said, it protrudes from the inside part of that nut by about, you know, 8 mil. So the BMW screw is on the front part. It's going to take a bit less stress as the bracket moves with the wind pressure, or, you know, attempts to at least, you know, not move. It's on the inside here. So for a few days, it's going to hold while I receive the screws from Fortnite. I will probably receive them before my trip to Moncton, and I'll be able to take this off again, and then, because I need to take the fairing off to access this screw here to put the proper Puig screw on. The one adjustment I need to make, and I want to tell you about this because I don't know if it's something with the way that I tightened everything, but as you can see, obviously the adjustment for the height is on this side, and it still works. You know, you can use the stock adjuster, everything's fine. It's just everything seems to be really well connected on the right side, on the brake side, but it's super flimsy like on the left here. And you can tighten this nut. This is an M8 nut, and the problem I have is even at the lowest setting, I'm not trusting this bracket. And if I move it all the way up, or you know, at least halfway up, it's very high now. You know, it's got some play in it from this side. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I carry either an M8 on the short term. It's not quite as big as a 14 mil spanner, but you can get away with using a 14 if it's in your toolkit and you're in a pinch, because you just take the nut cover off, and you can tighten this up just enough so that you lock the mechanism. Now that's not going to move at all, and I can tighten this if I want. Obviously I lose the adjustability. If I want to make a change, I have to loosen this back up on both sides and then make my adjustment. Again, I feel that if you find your setting, you're going to tend to leave it. So that's the plan. The other plan I have, and this is maybe a little bit more difficult to find, is you can find M8 winged nuts from a hardware store. And if I have a wing nut, then obviously I can just kind of finger adjust and tighten and loosen as I want. And that's the ideal situation. The issue with that, of course, is that most wing nuts are not corrosion resistant enough to be used as is. So I'll probably just have to paint something. As you can see now, with everything tightened, it's very, very sturdy. The bike moves as I move the windshield, like it's not going anywhere. I will try it, and I will let you know what it looks like when I do. So all in all, folks, the install really wasn't that bad, apart from the obvious missing hardware. If I had everything put together the first night, the first try, and I had obviously all the hardware, I could have knocked this out in an hour. I was talking to you, so it took a bit longer, but obviously now you see the end result. It's in its lowest setting now, and as you can see, even with the spoiler, there is quite a height difference. I'm trying to line this up the way it would have been stock. I'm really looking forward to trying it out, and once I do, obviously, I'll remove all of the stickers, and I'll give you my review of the product in its use once I've ridden a little bit. I'm not going to do this on this video. It'll be a bit later. A good 8 out of 10 on the install, like ease of install. It's really not that bad. You just need all the hardware, and you need to kind of learn the quirks of the mechanism and how to tighten the M8s and so on. So I hope you enjoyed the video and my grievances about how sometimes you miss hardware. Yeah, it took a bit longer to obviously record this and install. I hope you enjoyed. Leave me a comment too, like if you're like me, if you overthink things and get nervous, because that's really not the attitude you want to have as a motorcyclist. You know, Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance need to go together. I've read the book, I should know better. So let me know if you're also guilty of making that mistake, and I look forward to reading your comments. Do think about, you know, throwing me a like and maybe even consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Wait for news on this and indeed more content. I've been Charles, and this has been OG Adventures. I'll see you around.